Hello, guys. Welcome back to J-Talkshow, and today we are going to talk about the participation of the youth in national development, most especially in the political arena. And today I have with me Nicholas Mauli on my left-hand side, and I have with me at the far end Chinoso, aka Odogu.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, guys, to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, guys, I believe you remember Chino. So he has been here for a couple of times. He has blessed us with money issues. And Nicholas has also been here for a couple of times. And he has also blessed us with money issues. Once. Okay, once. All right, guys, welcome once again. And we want to say hi to our viewers and anything.
Good day, guys. Hope you all are doing well. It's always a pleasure to be on a talk show. I'm really glad to be back here again.
Thank you. Maybe there might be new people. You can introduce yourself to them.
Okay. I'm a sixth year student in medicine.
Okay.
And my name is Onomebu Chinonso, aka Odogu. So I'm into
in the making.
Yes. So I'm into business. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm open to any business opportunity. I'm from Nigeria, and an Igbo man.
That's good.
Okay, so I am Nicholas Mali Badohun, and I'm done with my masters. I specialized in transport and logistics, or let's say exports and imports. And
you're bringing train to Ghana.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, and I'm also interested in anything business. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And we have business tycoons here. All right, guys. So you have them. So let's dive straight into the conversation for today. First of all, for the topic or for the heading that is said, are you for or you are against? Are you for the youth or you are against the youth in participation in political stuff?
Well, I think it is important for everyone to participate in politics because as we all belong to a particular jurisdiction, or let's say in a country, or you find yourself in a community where you need to share your ideas or you need to decide on something. I think it is important that everybody, including the youth, also take part.
I mean, when you mean everybody, you mean from the youth. I'm not sure you're talking about adolescents or you're talking about...
let's say politics. Okay, for politics or let's say voting, you need to attain a certain age. Maybe some countries or most countries, you need to be 18 years and above. Yeah. So, and sometimes too, it is, or most of the times too, it is your right, and also not just your right as well. It's your civic duty to also take part in politics. So for me, I can't say that, or I am for the motion that it is important for the youth to take part in politics.
Okay. So you are for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be I think it's a good thing for the youth to participate. So I'm totally for the youth participating because I believe the youth will bring a different dimension into politics.
Okay.
So I'm totally for the youth.
All right. But as we are talking about this, so you have made us understand that the youth is from 18 years. I mean, categorically.
Well, it depends. There are some sources that say a youth is someone between the age of 18 to 24 or 25. Some sources also say it's someone between the age of 18 to 35. So, but then generally a youth, yes, it's from 18 to 35. Let's say that's the youth.
Okay. And in your country, is it the same?
Yeah, I think from 18 years you're legally a youth. To participate in certain things, politics, came to get your driver's license, and so. But I think where the debate is where actually it ends.
Yeah.
So as he said, 35. I think yeah, about 35, 40.
Yeah.
I think,
But talking about, I mean, we knowing that they used start from 18, I'm kind of wondering because in our countries, when you are 18 years, they still, I mean, our parents or the environment still sees you to be a child. I don't know if that's different from your country because for our country, like even as 18 years, you are not even allowed to make some decisions. You are still being infringed upon. There are people that is still dependent on the parents before they go and vote.
Okay, well, culture also determines that. For example, in the US, when you are 18 years, it is legal because according to the constitution, you can make decision on yourself. So if you go and let's say do something wrong and the police come or like they come to arrest you, you'll be held accountable for that. So your parents cannot decide for you from when you're 18 years and above. Do you understand? So legally you have to take decision for yourself, and as you said, it depends on the culture as well.
The culture. Do you see that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree also. The same thing in Nigeria also, there's at 18 years, you're basically maybe starting your university life. And you're highly dependent on your parents. So, and the way the African culture is, if you're dependent on your parents, they have authority over you.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, I mean, I heard that you are for the youth, you are also for the youth. But let's dive very much into details right now. There are people who are saying that the old men, they have to take their bags and leave the parliament because they are too old. Or those in the executives also, they are too old. They have to take their bags and go. Because most of the times we see, the presidents, we see the vice presidents. Okay, sometimes the vice presidents are a little bit younger. But we see most of the presidents and we see most of the, the people in high positions in our countries, especially in the political arena, very, very old, and some people are saying that we necessarily need, they didn't say we could, but they say we need the youth in those positions. We need the youth to take up those positions. What do you think about it, Odu? Starting from Odu.
Thank you. I don't necessarily think the youth are going to make a dramatic change. I believe in politics, it all has to do with the structure. If the structure is not right, irrespective of your age or who you are, your personality, if you go in there, you conform to the system and to the structure. So take for example, the Western countries that we consider the US and the European countries, things work there. People respect rule of law. People don't drive and beat the traffic lights. People don't throw trash all around. If same Nigerians and say Ghanaians or other African countries, when they travel abroad to these certain systems, they conform to those systems. They respect the rules. They don't beat traffic. Even when they get into positions of power, politics over there, they don't abuse their power because they know that this is the structure, these are the rules here. But when those same Africans that respect rules abroad come back to Africa and get into positions of power, you see them abusing their power. You see them. So I don't necessarily think the youths are going to be of a huge difference if we don't get the structure that brings those youths into participation in politics right. We need to remove the structure of corruption, remove the structure of favoritism, remove the structure of ethnicism, remove the structure of religion, and we need to push forward the agenda of meritocracy so that only those who truly merit those positions get into those positions of power, and when because most of the old people that we blame today were once youth, and I think is the mentality, is the structure that brought them there and made them who they are. So if we don't change that structure, these same youths that we think have the bright ideas and stuff, they get there and they find out that they can actually abuse the system, that actually abuse their powers, they will actually do so. So we're only a product of our system, our structure, our culture, and the structure that brings us there. So I think for youths to make that impact that we desire, we have to change that structure. We have to refine the structure. We have to make systems that work so that irrespective of who you are, even if you're someone with corrupt tendencies, once you get into the system, you find out that, see, I can't beat the system.
Yeah.
You have to conform to the system. So that's what I feel.
Wow. What do you think? What do you think, Lanik? Like, we have a lot of people coming strong, coming strong after the old men in the political positions, and they feel like these positions will be best, handled by a youth. Do you really agree with that, or you think that you think what Odugu thinks?
Well, I agree with Nonso on his perspective, and all that I would like to add to this is that I don't think it really depends on the youth or the old people. Exactly.
Okay.
If you can do the job, or if, let's say, this particular job, a youth can do it well, let's give it to the youth. If the elder or the old ones can also do the job well, we should give it to them. So I think it is I don't think the youth are going to like massively change everything. Yeah, because they can also get corrupt. They can also do the stuff that the old ones are doing. The older ones are also doing. Yeah.
Okay. Before I come to Odogu, you made some points that we would also discuss about. But before that, there are some roles, in this political arena that people strongly believe supposed to be like youth. Because let's say you have what's the name, the IGP, the IGP, the Inspector General of Police. People believe that if there is a young person over there, there is activeness in that aspect. Or let's say a minister, or let's say, there are some positions that they believe strongly that if a youth handles that, there is a kind of activeness, there's a kind of that, that kind of energy behind the position. Do you still believe that these positions could still be well handled by an old person?
Okay, for the positions you mentioned, such as Inspector General of Police, and I think these are force related positions that require a certain level of energy and activity and activeness. So to an extent, I think if somebody is decapitated physically, too old, because there's some old people that are in good health and good form.
Yeah.
I can cite somebody like the former president of one-time president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. He's over 95 years old, but he actually runs.
Wow.
Yeah. So so when you say old, if you're old and you're in good health and you have that activeness, I think you can handle such positions. I think such positions have to do with leadership. It's not all about youths. It's not all youths that have leadership qualities. So if people that should occupy that position, I think we should look at it from the point of activeness and youthfulness. Youthfulness doesn't necessarily mean because you're youth. Some youths are lazy. Some youths that are, not in good physical form and cannot do what that physical job requires, the physicality of the job. So I believe for those jobs specifically, yes, we need a level of youthfulness, but also most importantly, we need leadership by example. We need people that love the job, that know what it takes to do the job, and have the quality to do the job, and are willing to put in the effort and lead others. Because as Inspector of General Police, I don't think you're expected to go around with a gun and policing everybody. You give certain directives, your body language, the direction you want the force to go. All those things, your personality, you're someone that don't tolerate corruption, don't tolerate laxity from the police force. It depends on what energy you're bringing to the police, or be youth or no elderly person. If you're bringing the right energy, your followers, who you're leading, that would transcend to them, and that can transform the whole force. So it's not necessarily your energy. You don't have to be in the best physical form. Yes, you need a level, certain level, but you just have to give that leadership quality.
So for you, it's most of leadership quality.
Exactly, mostly leadership quality.
Okay. Do you side with me?
Yeah, I think I do because, such positions they require a certain level of experience. Okay, for example, in Ghana, before you become an IGP, you should rise through the ranks. ASP, DSP, all this one. So before you get to that level. So definitely before you get to that level, you are going to be old. Yeah, you are not going to be like young. Okay. But as he said, you need to be active and you need to also have that leadership quality to be able to lead lead as an IGP. Do you understand? Yeah. So I think the question should be that are the youth given the opportunity to also serve? Okay. For example, let's just put away the IGP thing and let's come back to like politics. Before you become the president of Ghana, according to the constitution of Ghana, you need to be 40 years and above. And as we earlier stated, or we earlier suggested, that a youth is someone between the age of 18 to 35. Already, the constitution is preventing a youth to hold the position of the presidency. I don't know whether you get what my point. Yes. So if someone is between the age of 18 to 39, which the person is a youth,
that means he's already disqualified.
Yeah, you understand. And for that matter, he's not even being given the opportunity. Okay. I don't know for what reason the constitution states that. So yeah, I think we should rather look at the system that does the system or the constitution put restriction on the youth participating in politics and holding leadership positions. Yeah.
Okay. That is, for me, I believe, what was the name? I don't have a stand. Why don't I have a stand? Because both of them can do better. There are some times that you may think that a youth could do something better, but you realize that the old person will do better than the youth. And I've heard this several times, that the old men are corrupt than the youth. Please share your thoughts. Do you think the old men are really? Because people are saying that as an old man, like you have what's the name? You have wife, you have side chicks, you have what's the name? Side chicks is girlfriend or concubine. You have side chicks, you have children. So you need more. So your responsibilities are more. So you need more. You understand? So they in turn become more corrupt than the youth who is only, handling maybe small things, What do you think?
I don't think that's necessarily true. Yes, I don't think that's necessarily true, because I think the elderly people have had more opportunity to steal. So that's why it looks like they are more corrupt, because they've actually been the ones more in positions of power to actually steal. So I think fewer youth have not had the opportunity. So that's why they feel they are less corrupt. But if they were given equal opportunities, I don't think they will actually do better. I think they also, some youths will also squander billions. So
sorry, I'm not. I don't
please
know.
Go
Did you hear this? Before you continue, there was a news in Ghana. There was a young guy who was given a certain position. He took over $200 million.
Wow.
And ran away from the country.
A young man.
So it comes back to what you are saying.
Exactly. So, and that cuts across, even up to Nigeria, there have been young people who have risen through the ranks of the police and some other, political institution. And when they get there, they embezzle fantastically, and they tend to tarnish the image of young people. So, I don't necessarily think old people steal more than young people. I just feel old people have had more opportunity to steal and they've stolen. which is right, but young people will necessarily not do this anything different. It comes back to the point I stated. It's about the structure. If a young person gets there and finds out that he can actually boycott the system and there will be no consequences, trust me, most young people will still, and even do better and even still in innovative ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because of course, exactly.
Smart. So trust me. So it's not about old or young. It's about the system letting them do such a thing with no consequence, and they knowing that I can do such a thing and get away with it with impunity.
Yes. So it's more of a system.
It's more of a system than actually the personality or the age.
Yeah. Because there is no data that states that this number of youth were put in a position and they were not corrupt, and this number of older people were put in a position and then they were corrupt. So there is no data. So we cannot say that
exactly.
How do you call it?
The youth more corrupt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bon, I totally agree, because sometimes you would have this small. There was a time that I was listening to the news. There's a SRC in Ghana or something, and the guy was just promising. Did you read that news? Did you read it?
Yeah. It happens a lot in Ghana. That is where corruption begins. That's where the corruption.
A lot of problems. I was wondering, is it like the guy literally promised a private jet for everybody?
Wow.
I don't know. Seriously? Yeah. So you kind of see where it's coming from. As a youth, if you start doing this, I don't know whether it was really a joke or like it was true.
Oh, it came into the news even.
So it was like true. Yeah. Like the guy really promised those stuff.
If you want a position or if you want a power, you definitely promise things.
No, because this guy was promising. I don't know.
It depends on the people that the ones the electorates or the students who are going to vote for him to also think and make their decision.
Because if you are starting from that, I don't know. By the time you end, let's say a position in the parliament. What are you going to do about it?
You'll be promising heaven and earth.
Promising long life.
Hey! Wow. And then I believe also I heard a certain incident, in other countries, this youth, these students abroad and stuff like that, and they do these elections and stuff like that to elect president and to elect people. And even at that particular time, corruption is there. As a student is asking for money before voting, in, and then the one who is also standing is also giving money, before being voted for. So we see that even as youth, the system is even corrupted. So I don't see how the youth would make any changes, when they get to those positions, especially restructuring, like you said. So how can we structure? How can we structure, especially in Africa? Let's leave, some places in the, in the Western out. But in Africa, how do you think we can restructure in such a way that this corruption is going to leave the system? Because the youth who would one day take upon these positions are already corrupt. It might not be all of them, so as the old men might not be all of them, but we are talking in general. So what do you think the structure would be? Like, how should we go about to restructure in such a way that there will be kind of reduction in corruption, especially in the youth, state?
Okay. I actually think it boils down to our cultural value system. I think over the years we've eroded. In the past, if my culture, I'm an Igbo man from the eastern region of Nigeria, Igbo. In our region, if you come with lots of money and nobody knows what you do, nobody knows the kind of business you invest in, you're seen as a thief. And they will chastise you in society, and people will actually not want to associate themselves with you. Thieves are like the worst set of people if you have a daughter in your family, she won't get married. If you're a guy, you can't marry other people. So that cultural system was so strong that we do not praise thieves. We do not praise people that go and embezzle money and steal from, people. So I think we have to go back to that system, because that system has been eroded such that people believe now I can just go into politics. Say, man, you have no job, you have nothing, you're just a minister, you get into ministerial position. Just after 6 months of being a minister, which your salary, if like official salary, we know it's not. All of a sudden, you have private jets, you have houses all over the world, you have billions of dollars. Officially, you go into an elitist status just because you become a minister or a representative or something, So we need to change that value system. We need to begin to frown upon certain things. That's one. Secondly, we need to value ourselves as Africans, because I feel as Africans, most of this money we take them outside. We take them to other countries, to develop other countries, to invest in other countries. That's a sort of an inferiority complex. We feel abroad is better, Europe is better. I think we need to value ourselves, know that okay, we Africans, we actually people a race of value. So we need, if we start developing that mentality that we are a race of value, people no longer see the need to steal money, so much money, and take it abroad. Even if they steal the money, they will want to invest it in Africa, and that in turn will begin to develop the continent and begin to help people. So changes to the cultural value system, shun thieves, frown upon stealing culture. We need to value ourselves highly, that we want to stay in our own country, we want to develop our own system, in turn that will dissuade people from stealing so much of this money to go abroad, to go and spend it. And finally, I think also there need to be consequences for certain actions. So when people steal money and they are caught, we should not just give them a slap in the wrist. I think it should get to a point whereby if you are in holding public offices and you steal money, of the people and you embezzle the money, there should be capital punishment, or even life imprisonment. So that would dissuade others from doing that, and that should cut across, but irrespective of your family, your status, or whoever you are. Once the person that comes and says that the person that stole was sent to life in prison and no way to escape, nothing. When he comes there, he or she will think twice before stealing.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. And I think those are the three things I think we need to change to be able to change the structure of the system.
So in addition to what he said, I think it is more of enforcing the law. If, let's say, within 6 months, as he said, within 6 months, somebody is found to have amassed a lot of wealth, the person needs to be audited.
Exactly.
And if after the auditing, it is being found out that the person actually embezzled the nation's funds, the person needs to be
like punished. Like
Yeah.
said,
So basically, I think it is more of enforcing the law and making sure that people who participate in corruption are held accountable
to what they do,
and they are not rewarded for the corruption.
Exactly.
Because in my country, you can see people steal billions. I think someone stole 18 billion naira or so, and when he was caught, the court said he should pay back 2 million naira. Someone that stole 18 billion naira was have to pay just 2 million naira in compensation. So so if I know that I can see 18 billion and I'll pay just 2 million, I'll do the mathematics. So we shouldn't reward corruption. We should know that, first of all, if you steal such huge amount of money, all the money will be confiscated. Not only that, you will be sent to minimum life in prison. Minimum. You will not.
Then I don't know what the maximum will be. We can give the person minimum.
No, capital punishment, because you have to know that certain times we have to look at it from this point. Imagine money that was allocated for COVID patients. To buy ventilators, to buy treatment, and those money were squandered, and those people ended up dying. To me, I think that is equivalent to murder. Because you deprive those people of life because of simple things they didn't have. So why should you have right to live after embezzling such huge amount of? So I think it should be category by category. So looking at the consequences of what you did, if what you did has a direct correlation to having ended the life of people, I think there should be an argument.
Is also,
an argument for capital punishment is also there.
Yeah,
exactly.
I totally agree. Because I think that is the only way, this corruption is, because it seems corruption is never going to stop in Africa. Because, like, I don't know.
Corruption is everywhere.
Corruption is everywhere.
It's just that in Africa it is higher.
Exactly, and other places also, like it's easily when they catch you, you are going to get the punishment.
Yes, but in Africa it's done with impunity. You know that nothing is going to happen. My dad is this. I know somebody in power. I'm connected, so
they will just call right now.
Exactly, nothing's going to happen. Even if I go to prison, I'll be released in 6 months. So.
Yeah, exactly, and that is why Africa has always been at where they are. So, like from what you are saying, I mean, those asking a lot of questions about the youth and stuff like that. Now I mean, I know you would also have a different thought on it. I mean, there are some people who really want the youth